The Assassin's Creed went from main menu into the game in less than a minute. While both the PS5 and Xbox Series X offer the same ray tracing and one with iconic design and another with superpower hardware, we will cover everything from the game's price to cloud gaming. Before that, it has been almost 3 years, so if you own this both, then what do you think? Who will win this console war? Alright, let's get into it. Shalom to you and let's get started. Let's start with the price. Both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox cost almost $500, but with that, you have PS5's digital edition and Xbox Series X, which almost cost around $300 to $400, and the Xbox Series S is almost diskless, and if you want to buy a disk drive, you can buy that separately for another $80. But when you realize the fact that the digital edition is just similar to PS5 with just disc removed, and whichever console you buy, there is tons of exclusive features, and while the both system have some games coming down to the line, basically the advantage of these consoles mostly focus on the backward compatibility, which actually has a huge list of games to be played. Some of these from the Sony's PS5 launched with Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Soul and Sackboy. On the contrary, Microsoft released their list of 30 topmost games optimized for Xbox Series X and S, which includes Gear 5, Ori and the Wall of Wisp with Forza Horizon 4. But it seems the Xbox is becoming weaker in this area because all these games are already available on Xbox One and PC, so you can play whenever you want. But the catch over here is that just a year later, they came back with a handful of exclusive gaming titles like Microsoft Flight Simulator, Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5, which showed how much the system can tackle. Meanwhile, Sony's PlayStation offers PlayStation Premium Plus, which have almost 100 games to download or stream on any version you have, and the same for Xbox Series X and S. And likewise, just as PlayStation did, Microsoft launched its own Xbox Gaming Pass with just a $17 subscription in a similar manner, which lets you download 100 games and you can even play on Xbox X, S1 or PC. Actually, when they launched it in 2021, the Halo Infinite became one of the most popular games with selling over 21 million copies, and it was their best year. But on the contrary, Sony offered games for the starters like Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, but these weren't the studios only who were responsible for their big hits, but their gaming titles itself, which pops up on the PC every month or later, so you feel refreshed every time and you feel something new every time when you open your screen. But if we take a look at Microsoft, the company is actually keen to support cross-gen play after the launch of Microsoft's Xbox Series X. On the other hand, the company doesn't even consider the Xbox to be the top priority, since all these games are available on the PC. Microsoft still considers their primary platform to be all likely. With that, both consoles roughly weighs the same, and the dimensions of the PS5 is actually huge. And if you are thinking about the PS5 Slim version, it's 30% smaller and 24 to 18% lighter, but it depends on if you have a disk drive or not. On the other side, Xbox Series X is pretty bulky, but it manages its space better rather than looking like an oversized router. The Xbox Series X is designed with a slick box type, which is actually seems like a tiny refrigerator, but this design is very dissimilar to the Xbox One, which can be laid on horizontally or vertically. But with both the consoles, the disk drive is noisier than the fan, especially when playing a 4K Blu-ray, and PS5 at 5 dB quieter than Xbox because it has some additional upgrades, including a larger 1 TB SSD card with an external detachable disc. It gives a look like a sci-fi movie with curvaceous line and glossy white finish. But on the Xbox, it looks more akin to ordinary gaming PC because the way the console is designed, it looks much like just a cuboidal shape. But when you play it, it won't matter how the shape and size is, you will feel cool and quiet. Let's talk about the performance. Firstly, Sony's aim is to increase the load times of the games. The Assassin's Creed Valhalla went from the main menu into the game in just a few seconds, while the Xbox took longer time to load. almost a minute. And after that, the PS5 launched their 2 model, making their units more curvy. The original CFI 1000 model and the revised CFI 1100 unit. While the Xbox Series X seems a little smooth when playing on 120 FPS because it's clocked at 3.8 GHz, meanwhile the PS5 is just clocked at 3.5 GHz. So PS5 appears to be losing against the Xbox Series X, right? Well, if we talk about ray tracing, they both fall into the same criteria, but once again, Series X ray tracing this time offers greater contrast between light and shadow, and Xbox provides a 12 teraflops against Sony's PS5, which is just 10.28. But the way the Sony has designed and integrated their PS5's storage, it makes a little bit fast. In fact, it left behind the speed of Series X with the internal storage of almost 1 TB, and the Xbox offered almost a TB of internal storage, while Dolby Atmos started making its way into the Xbox console. PS5 counters Dolby with their own bespoke 3D audio processing, which they call TempSet. But this feature is only available if you have headphones or you are playing a game on a TV. So Sony is actually planning to add more virtual reality in their consoles and gaming with wireless controllers earlier than the launch of PSVR 2 virtual reality headset. While the Microsoft's new Xbox featured a quick resume, basically it lets you suspend multiple games at a time, so you can start immediately with any new game and pick back that game where you left. Apart from that, both consoles have 8-core CPUs from AMD, and about GPUs, they don't fluctuate between the speed. Instead, it delivers the same clock speed regardless of the temperature or the game you are playing. The processor in Xbox is customized by AMD Gen 2 and similar for PS5, and actually the 4K at 60Hz is the performance target for both consoles, with 120Hz or some fancy next-gen graphical features which is available via some games. And in some cases, games allow you to choose between prioritizing presentation or performance, which often boils down to choice between ray tracing or higher frame rate. So PS5 tricks up its sleeves in the form of Astro Playroom, which is pre-installed on the console with a super polished 4K at 60Hz presentation, while the Xbox Series X matches the PS5 by offering DirectX ray tracing capabilities, which is basically equipped with a super fast internal 1 TB NVMe SSD, and which can be utilized as a virtual RAM to lift load times 40x. And it's worth pointing out though that 120 FPS gaming is only available if your TV supports 4K at 120Hz signals. And not only gaming, both consoles offers plenty of streaming apps like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video and YouTube. While both consoles come with natty new controllers, but there is no denying fact that the PS5's new DualSense is the more significant and ultimately better of the two. The Xbox Series X controller is nearly identical to much of Xbox One, with textured grips, shoulder buttons and improved D-pad and new share button on the center, while the PS5 DualSense on the other side is an exit from the DualShock 4 with two-tone color scheme and much bigger grips with variety of new features, which is extremely sensitive, and not to forget a built-in mic among them. Why they need to add the haptic feedback? So that you can get a feel that you are in the actual game without getting into the game. In the Xbox, they added AA batteries instead of rechargeable ones, and if you have noticed, the latest one is a little bit smaller than its predecessor. And in the latest, they added a share button, which is technically inspired by DualShock 4, but the truth behind is the button does so many tasks apart from just sharing, for example to take screenshot or to record the first 30 seconds of your gameplay. Talking about cloud gaming isn't a huge for either PS5 or Xbox Series. Simply you can download and play them natively on either platform. Talking about PS5, the PS5 has the PlayStation Plus revamp, which lets you stream a variety of PS3 titles as well as some of the PS4 titles to PlayStation console and PCs. It costs around $10 per month for a tier that includes streaming capabilities, while the Xbox Series X has a slight edge when it comes to raw power, design and backward compatibility. But the PS5 is the leader in arguably the most important category, as it boasts a game library that Xbox simply cannot even match at present. So Xbox features cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is included in the monthly Game Pass Ultimate subscription service and allows you to play over 100 games on any console, which is whether Xbox Series X or S, or you have any mobile device. On the contrary, the PlayStation 5 has access to the 3 tiers of the PlayStation Plus, so that Sony relaunched in 2020-22, which is included a range of cloud streaming games. The top tier now offers a full cloud streaming up to a maximum 4K resolution, which Game Pass cannot match at the moment. And currently, Microsoft does not have any equivalent VR product of its own for Xbox user. While there are strong rumors of PS5 Pro refresh arriving in 2024, which is this year, which could be another boost for Sony's gaming platform. So we have everything in front of us to know about the both consoles. So what do you think? Who takes the crown? Alright, that's for this week. Let's lock up the house. See you soon with another incredible video. Till then, shalom to you. Subscribe for more.